Okay, that's good. Um, so let me share my screen now. Share. You guys can see the screen, right?
Yes, all good.
Okay. So the final exam, it's just based on the two chapters, the regression chapters, chapter 14 and 15. And the questions, there will be only like 43 questions in the final, okay? And you guys will still have 2 hours and 30 minutes for the exam. So let's start the review. Uh, the important things that we need to know for the exam. Okay, so you guys already know that the what a simple linear regression is, right? Because in chapter 14, let me use the highlight tool. Okay, so you know what it is. So it's important to know that the relationship, um, what a simple linear regression is, and you guys need to know how the form looks like, right? um, So the form looks like y equals to mx plus b. In some other textbooks, it's used mx plus c or b plus mx, but we will use this one, which you guys have learned in these like chapters. So in the final exam, there could be like what is the form, or like what is a simple linear regression or something like that. Okay, chapter 14. um, Other thing that you guys need to know is you guys obviously need to know like how to plot the graphs, right? You can in the lectures, it was shown how to plot it, and what the slope means, right? Someone is chatting. Yes, it's being recorded. Yes, I'm recording it. Yes. So, what the slope means? What's a positive slope? If it's positive, then what is the relationship between x and y? Right? It means that 1 unit change in x would increase your y by that slope. So, if the slope is 0.5, it will change y by 0.5 units. Okay? So, the, pretty straightforward there. So plotting the graph, what the slope means, what's a simple linear regression. Uh, Slope can be positive or negative. So if it is negative, then the relationship is like a negative relationship between y and x, right? And what is y? Y is our dependent variable, and x is our independent variable, right? This is for simple linear regression case. Um, So you guys need to know what's y. It's the dependent variable, and the x is the independent variable. Um, what happens when the slope is 0? If the slope is 0, then there is no relationship between x and y. Okay, so this is very important. Maybe I might ask in the exam. Okay, so maybe you will see what does slope 0 mean. Okay. Um, So yeah, I already talked about positive relationship thing about here. Okay, so it shouldn't be of any surprise. Um, Also, the negative relationship, right? And if there's a zero slope, then it's like a horizontal line, and there is no relationship between x and y. So that's and if we give you like a graph something like this, can this be plotted using linear regression? No, right? Because it's a curve, and for curves, we cannot plot with linear regression. So you guys need to know why we can't do it. If you have watched the lectures, which I am sure you guys did, so this cannot be plotted using linear regression, right? Also, something like this. Okay, there is like no relationship. Like it's like uh, we cannot do anything with this, like we cannot plot a linear regression line. Also, you guys need to know what a regression model is. So regression model usually is the population model, right? There is an epsilon here. So if I highlight this, let me use the snapshot tool. Snapshot. So the distinction between regression equation and also the estimated regression equation. Okay, it's important. So let me highlight something for you guys. So when we do a population like a regression model, and this is the estimated, right? Estimated regression model. Regression model. What's the difference here? We have epsilon. Here we don't have epsilon, right? Epsilon is the basically the error term, so it's a random error. And in estimated, you will always have this y hat, like it's an estimate, right? And usually these are the small betas, like b0, b1. This is for simple linear regression case. For a multiple linear regression case, what would happen is that there will be more x's, right? There could be beta 1 x1, beta 2 x2. So there could be like beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2. And if I ask you the population regression model or just the regression model, then don't forget to put the epsilon. Okay, many times, I mean, these will be MCQ questions in the exam, like, but choose the one that has the epsilon here. Okay, if it's a population regression model. So many times you make silly mistake. I'm asking you for the population regression model, but then you are giving me the estimated regression equation. Okay, and the estimated one, uh, if the values are given, you have to plug in the values, and maybe like let's say y hat equals to, this is just an example, okay, let's say beta 0 is like 3 and beta 1 let's say is 2.5, right? So this would be the estimated regression equation. Okay, so that's what's here. Oops, sorry. Also, you guys need to know like the confidence interval things. We will usually give you the 95% confidence interval. Okay. So we did this example in class. Actually, Professor Smith Sands, she covered this part, right? One more thing is once you plug in the values, okay, make sure you plug it correctly, because sometimes if the values are given in thousands, let's say in thousands, actually we will cover one example on that. Okay, so we did this example too as well, right? Yeah, we can ask like a range, like it ranges from you can check the 95% confidence interval regression equation. Usually I will give you the regression equation or the regression output results. Okay, and the most important chart is the r square, the adjusted r square. uh, we need to know these formulas. This is the most important like formula sheet both for chapter 14 and 15. Okay, and if you did the MindTab homework, it's a good practice, because the MindTab homework is basically some of the questions might reappear in the exam, the MindTab chapter 14 and 15. Okay, so what I was talking about is, suppose I want you to like know the 95% interval. Let's say I tell you what is the 95% of this intercept or this x variable. So you guys have to plug in like these points, right? The upper bound and the lower bound. Okay, that's what I was talking about, the upper and lower bound. If I ask you 99%, then you have to give me these ones. Okay, but usually we don't give you the 99%. The Excel result usually give you 95%, right? And so this is very important. So page 19, you guys should like do some problems related to that. Okay, so that's for chapter 14 part 1. Do you guys have any questions before I move to chapter 14 part 2? Okay, so none of you guys have any questions. That's good. um, so these are very theoretical parts, like whether you see a linear model or not, whatever we covered in class. um, so it's pretty straightforward here. Okay, so this is for a simple linear regression. Again, I am saying this, and this one is x1, right? The hours is actually x1, and the coefficient is beta 1. So I can ask you, what is the slope of hours? The slope of hours could be 1.151, right? So you need to know the what the slope means, and intercept is usually beta 0, right? And so what does this slope mean? That means for 1 unit change in x, y is supposed to change by 1.151, right? So that is what it means. So if I ask you the regression equation, you will give me this equation. Don't forget to put the error term, because I am asking the regression output equation. But if I ask you estimated regression equation, then you have to give me this one. Okay, this is the estimated one. So let me use the snapshot tool and highlight this, because this is very important. This will be in the exam. So let me just move this one a little upward. Okay, and just paste it here. Okay, so this is your regression equation, right? If I ask you the estimated regression equation, you guys have to give me this one, estimated regression equation. How did I get it? The estimated regression equation. So I have y beta 0. I know this one is the beta 0, right? 67.409, 67.4709, and plus beta 1x, right? So beta 1x is 1.151.151x. Then there shouldn't be any error term, because in the estimated regression equation the error term is assumed to be 0, right? So this is what you will get eventually. Okay, don't give me this one. Like some students will think that, oh, he asked the estimated regression equation, let me just give him this one. If you give me this one, this is incomplete. Okay, so estimated regression equation, okay, you have to give me this one.
So, Professor, if you were asking for the overall regression equation, would
Yes.
the epsilon be the standard error of intercept and hours added together?
Yes, if I ask you the overall, exactly. So there could be one multiple choice where I ask you what's the overall equation. So then you give me with the standard error. Exactly.
Would that just be 3.9186 plus 0.2482?
Which one are you talking about?
Because like for this equation, if you wanted to write, like how would we get the epsilon? Is it just two standard errors added together?
No, no. Epsilon, just you put epsilon. This standard error is the standard error of the intercept.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was wondering. So we don't.
Yeah, you just give me this epsilon, this equation. Yep.
All right, thanks.
No worries. So yeah, so this is for the chapter 14. Actually, the most tricky part would come in like chapter 15. Actually, I won't say that's very tricky, because these two chapters really you can't make any mistakes. Like if you get the concept, it's hard to make any mistakes actually. And um, previously students have done really well in like the final exam. All right. So one more thing is that in here also you have to do a hypothesis test. When I say is the beta one significant or not, so it's like step one, step one, step two, and then you make the decision based on your alpha, right? So in the question usually the alpha will be given. In this case, page 4, chapter 14, the alpha was 0.01 and our p-value, two-tailed p-value, okay. These tests are always two-tailed p-value is less than the given alpha, so we reject the null. So what does reject null means? That means this slope is significant, right?
So on the exam, are we ever going to have to look up p-value with a table, like a t-table, or no?
P-value I will give it to you because in the exam you cannot calculate the p-value because you need Excel, right?
Yeah.
So I will give you guys the two-tailed p-value. So don't worry about that one. But maybe you might have to calculate the t-test statistic. Like I can ask you, what's the t-test statistic? So you know that's the beta one SB one. So I will give you the other two in that case, right? So like I will give you this one, like S and T.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's about it. Um, and yeah, like also look at the confidence interval like part, right? So confidence interval will also be given in the exam. Like it should be given. Like if I ask you 95% or 99%, you know what I am talking about. Then if 99%, you select the lower bound for 99 and upper bound for 99. All right. Okay, so most important thing from here is like some theoretical question, like what are least squares, right? We you need to know the least square like methods, particularly like this one, like degree of freedom. Um, so let me just copy this. Let me just okay. So this is important. Like you need to know SSR, how you calculate the MSR. So let me magnify this one. This is your MSR, right? This is MSE. So maybe if I don't give you SSE, let's say this is missing in the exam, you know that SST equals to SSR plus SSE, right? So if you know this one, you know this one, or actually if you know this one, you can easily calculate SSE. Similarly, for the degree of freedom, maybe one will be missing, right? You can calculate what would be the other one easily. Or maybe I don't give you the F stat. You know what F stat is, right? MSR over MSE, right? It's in the actually regression output equation. Let me not this part, chapter 14. Right? So MSR over MSE. So all these formulas are important. Then what is MSR? SSR over P, SSE over N minus P minus 1. Or basically, you can say SSR over DF1, right?
What would be given that?
No, this chart, yeah, I will give you guys this regression output chart, but it's also better if you have this in your formula cheat sheet, like both sided, right? So I will give you, but it's better to have a hard copy with you, I think. So yeah, very actually easy and straightforward exam. This exam, it's actually hard to make mistakes. Um, What is r square? It's like how much of the variation of x is being explained by y. That's only for simple linear regression case. Okay, so that's chapter 14 part 2. And the last one, let me see, there was another one which I wanted to talk about, not the regression output, part 1 part 2, and then this one. Actually this one also pretty straightforward, I think. So nothing much to cover on this part. Right, so that's chapter 14. Actually chapter 14 there is not much to cover here, so let's go to chapter 15. Okay, so for chapter 15, most important part is these four assumptions. Right, we need these four assumptions. um, so the expected value of epsilon is 0. Right, variance is always constant for all values of x, and values of epsilon are independent, right, or the random error term, and they are normally distributed. So you guys need to know what this assumption means. Okay, and you need to know what is a residual analysis, right, and why do we do the residual analysis? To like examine the plots of residual, um, to see if any regression assumptions are violated. So how do you know if they are violated? If any of this condition is not fulfilled, then they are violated, right? So these conditions are important. I can ask you what a residual analysis is, which I already told you, and I can give you something like this and ask you, is this like is the assumption violated or not? So in this case, the assumptions, if you look here, the plot is actually good because all the value averages between 0, right? Like above and below is average around 0. And the variance is also constant, like whatever is upward is also similar part. So the violation is not violated in this case. Same here. Here the like the variance is like here actually the cone pattern, that there is a violation of the assumption of that it doesn't have a constant variance. Okay, so here it's actually like and this is also known as heteroscedasticity, right? Here the assumption 1 is violated because the mean is not 0, because more values are in the top portion than at the bottom portion, right? There are more values. How many points? 1 2 3 4 5, like the average will be greater than 0 if you see visually. So assumption 1 is violated in this case, right? One more thing is that if the thing is like normally assumed, then almost all of the values, standardized residuals, fall between value minus 2 and 2. Okay, uh, so if I can ask you like what's the standardized residual fall between? So if you have to choose, it's from minus 2 to 2. Okay, so this question can come in the final exam. Also I will ask you guys the four assumptions, so you guys need to know that, and I can give you guys graphs and ask you why do you think it's violated. So if a graph looks like this is not violated because the mean is around centered around 0, variance is constant, like all the four assumptions are like perfect in this case,
Do
right?
you know what handout that's on, the four assumptions?
uh, yeah, can you repeat the question?
Do you know what handout that's on, the four assumptions?
So this is actually on the regression assumption and residual analysis, page 2, and I will post this lecture review, so you guys will have it. So I will combine all the documents and send it to you guys,
Okay, thanks.
upload it in the Canvas module. Okay, so yeah, it's very easy and straightforward. Don't forget that it ranges from -2 to 2. Like sometimes you will think that, oh, it's from -1 to 1, so you can get confused, but 95% of them ranges from -2 to 2. Okay, if I give a plot like this is also violated, because see, the points are above 2 and -2, so these are like outliers. Okay, these two residuals, so the assumption 4 is violated in this case. So this slide is very important. There could be like 5 to 6 multiple choice from this topic. So we will have 43 multiple choice questions, and maybe 5 multiple choice is coming from this topic. Okay, so that's chapter 15, the residual component. Now let's come back to the nodes. So I can ask you, what is multiple regression? So you guys need to know what is a multiple regression, right? Okay, I can ask, or what is simple linear regression, SLR? I mean, writing in short form basically, or what is residual analysis, right? So this kind of question will come. So you guys need to study these notes. Exam is 1 week later, so you guys have some time, so you guys can read. And um, basically multiple regression is when you have more than one what independent variable, right? And in simple linear regression, only one independent variable. So only one independent variable. This is a case of multiple regression, because we have how many IV? 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so regression boils out the impact of each x variable on y, with all other x accounted for, held constant. So if I ask you, let me actually copy this. Copy this one, right? Okay, if I ask you y equals to, let's say, 3.0 plus 1.2 x1 plus 2.3 x2 plus maybe like 2.1 x3 plus error term, and then I ask you, explain the slope of, let's say, x2, or in this case it will be the slope of like x1 maybe, if I give you an example, let's say this is your final exam score. This is example, okay, not the exact example will be there. And let's say final exam score depends on homework assignments, then study time of you, how much you, homework completion rate, study time, and let's say attendance, right? So I can say, interpret the slope of study time, right? How will you interpret that? It's that that 1 unit change. So 1 unit change of study time, this is the study time, will increase the final score, will increase final score by how many units? What do you guys think? How many units will it change? 1 unit change in study time. Final score by 2.3 units, right? Because the slope is 2.3 units. But holding other like the other slopes are constant, right? The x1 x2s, and basically holding other like homework completion and attendance thing constant, other things or other ivs constant. So in this case we hold homework completion rate and attendance rate constant. So if I just do analyzing only on study time, then I just focus on study time. And why it will increase? Because it's a positive number. If it was negative, then it will decrease. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, so something like that. So with all other x's accounted for or hold constant, all the other iv's hold constant. I didn't want to come to this part. Yes. So yeah, I was telling you guys to be careful when the units are given in thousands. Like x's are given in thousands, y's are given in thousands. So if that's the case, where is this example? Then you have to convert them into like thousands too. Okay. Actually, we did a problem like that in the class. So multiple linear regression, similarly, if I ask you population equation, you give me this one. No, this is the estimated, because this is the estimated. The population one is this one, right? And if I ask you estimated, you will give me the complete one. How will you get that? For a multiple linear regression, actually let me copy this too. This is for the multiple case. Okay, so if I say, yeah, plot the estimated regression, so y hat, I know this is beta 0, so beta 0 is 8.70304 plus beta 1 is this one, 1.9365, and then the x variable name is TV advertising, so you have to put TV advertising, plus beta 2 is 0.598, and the x2 variable name is print advertising. And in an estimated regression, we don't have the error term, right? So you don't need to put the error term there. So this is the. Also, one more thing I would like to point out, the total degree of freedom is 14 and the total number of observations is 15. So n is equals to df, right? Actually, n minus 1 equals to your degree of freedom. So n is 15 minus 1. That will give you the total degree of freedom, 14. So if I give you the total degree of freedom and I don't give you n, like I give you the degree of freedom and I don't give you the value of n. So you should be able to find what n is, right? 14 plus 1 is 15. So n equals to 15. So I can ask you guys, or I can ask you find r square, find adjusted r square. So R square is SSR over SST. So if you know SSR, you know SST, you can find the R square. Yes. If you know how to do the assignment, you will be able to do it. And this formula sheet is the most important one. Okay. So that's about this one. Let me continue there. Yeah, so you will write it like this. So p-value approach, this example also very important. Something similar might pop up. Okay, rejection rule. If you reject, that means they are significant, right? Okay, there are two types of significance. One is called the joint significance, which depends on the F test. So please note that the F test will give me the joint significance, right? So in this case, the F test p value is very small. 10 to the e to the power negative 8 means 10 to the power negative 8. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. Yeah, 8 zeros in front. Uh, in fact, actually 7 zeros because the 1 is there. So, yeah. So this p value is less than alpha, right? If alpha is 0.05, so it is jointly significant, this regression equation. So F test is overall significance. Okay, this is important to denote. Okay. And what are t-tests? T-tests are like individual significance. So individual significance here, whether x1 and x2 are significant individually. So the p-value is very small, very small. So both like these slopes are significant, right? Slopes of TV. So yes. What else? Yeah, this is the part that I was telling you guys about, that convert everything in terms of thousands if the units are given in thousands. Okay, page 7. Oops. So yeah, these are the same things that I have just repeated. Okay, so to determine, we always use the adjusted R square. Or like if I tell you which model is better, actually I will talk about that in the like the next part. So adjusted R square is always better, and we tend to choose the ones with the highest adjusted R square, or we tend to choose the one with the lowest standard error. So the rule of thumb, which model is better, right? So which model is better? There will be two multiple choice question based on this, right? So I have two MCQs will be there. In one example, we choose the adjusted R square with the highest adjusted R square. Or with the lowest standard error. Okay. So in this case, which one is better? Model 2 is better, right? Because model 2, the adjusted R square is larger. Even though the original R square for model 1 was better, but model 2 has a higher adjusted R square. Also, model 2 has a lower standard error, right? So that's why we choose model 2. All right. So that's very important, because if you make a model and if you just add more independent variables, that will increase your R square. But that doesn't mean that this model is better, because see here, there are three independent variables. That's why the R square is actually bigger than the model 2. But what the adjusted R square does is that even if you add 100 independent variables, they will only pick the one that are really making a significant impact on the overall model. So here the significant impact the overall model is doing is the model 2 is doing it better job than model 1. All right. So this is about chapter 15, and we have one more portion. We already did the residual analysis part. Yeah, so I will give you something like this, right? And some of the parts will be given, or the equation will be given, and you guys have to like fill in these parts. Okay. um, so that's about chapter 15 actually. So we are almost covered for the, let me see how many things. Yeah, that's about it actually. So that's the coverage for chapter 14 and 15, because we only had two chapters. That's why we didn't have much to cover here. And in the final exam, there will be only like 40 to 40, 43 multiple choice questions. Are you guys there? Okay. Okay, any other questions regarding this? I think we have covered everything that is expected. Let me see if I forgot anything or not. So I have covered, yeah, all the like descriptive questions. Yeah, I have covered almost all of them. Yes. Uh, so any other questions, guys?
So for that extra credit survey for Professor Schmidt Sands we took, how
Yes.
do we know if that extra credit points are actually added to our final exam grade?
Oh, okay. That will be added like within 3 days. Like because Professor Sands will give me your names on the like day of the exam probably. So or the day after. Then I will add all those points, the two extra credit points, to your final exam score only. Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything else about the we should know, or is it going to be the same as the other exam? No, it's actually like a very straightforward exam. You are welcome, Islam. You guys just need to review these things. You still have one more week with you. Um, yeah, you are welcome. You guys should watch the chapter 15 video. Maybe let me just focus on that one. So let me go to the modules. Do the residual analysis one really seriously, because five multiple choice questions will be from there. So I already kind of given you guys some hint. Let me see more chat questions. Yes.
And if we're cashing in on that late homework pass for chapter 15, when do you want that turned in by? Like the day before the exam opens or whatever?
Yeah, I am liberal with the homeworks, because as long as you finish before the semester ends, like December.
It's 22nd, right?
Yes, 22nd. Yes,
Okay.
finish everything by December 22nd. Okay, I'm not going to penalize for like late submission or anything like that. um, so the thing that I was talking about is that not F test, the video, let's see, yeah, the T test, F test, these two videos, watch it, because similar question can come in the exam. Okay, so watch this T test and F test if you guys have time. It won't take much time. I think the overall video for chapter 15 is only 2 hours, but 25 multiple choice questions will come from chapter 15, and maybe 18 how you are grading attendance. Okay, yeah, so 4% is on your class participation, attendance, and like homework submission and everything. So as long as you submit all the homeworks, as long as I see that you are watching all the videos, because I have the video analytics, I can show you, but the problem is, you will see other people's attendance too. So based on that, I will grade the participation points. Okay, I don't want to disclose people's private things to everyone in the class. If we view the videos late, yes, it's okay. I mean, if you watch the videos late, it's fine, but you don't have to watch like chapter 10 or 9 or 11 videos right now. Okay, don't waste your time on those right now, because if you watch the chapter 14 and 15 videos, I will give you like full participation points. Okay, so I want you guys to concentrate on the final exam. Don't worry about it. Yes, no worries. Just concentrate on the final exam. I'll be very some of the eco videos are still green. Okay, yeah, don't worry about it. As long as you guys complete the homeworks, I will give you full participation points. Okay, so just finish the homeworks, and the class average is pretty good. I think more than 50% actually are doing like really well in my class, so that's a good thing. So any other questions? Let me see.
I think someone asked if you could like add the final exam like kind of assignment in so we could like test it out and see what our final grade would be.
uh, like at final exam, where?
Like in the grade book, so we can like simulate like we put like get 49, we can see how much the percentage would be for our final grade.
Oh, okay. Okay, that one, like, because you guys have to take the exam first.
Oh, I
Um,
got you.
yeah, otherwise, like, I cannot add it. The final exam is only 20% of the grade. I think it's, let me see the syllabus here. I think I put, because there are only two chapters. So most of the percentages were in like, I think midterm 2 was the largest for all of us, right? So let's see the grade composition here. Um, where is the grade breakdown? It should be here. Yes. So final exam actually only 25%, not 20%. This is going to be put in out of 100. Yes, yeah, I will add like 1 point curve in the second exam. Okay, I need to do that there. Mindtab homework 7 is 21%, exam 1 20, exam 2 had like 30, and the final exam only 25%. But I recommend you guys to complete the final exam. Like, don't miss it, because I have only 3 days to submit the grades. After you and watch the videos, watch only chapter 14 and 15 videos. Okay, don't right now, no point watching like chapter 9, 10, or 11 and 12. It's not productive for you to watch the old chapters, right? So watch the chapter 14 and 15 videos. Do the worksheets. um, Pretty much that's it. I think only, yeah, That is what I can suggest at this point. Okay. Mind tab. Okay, that's great. Yes, and please be careful. You guys, like, stay safe. The case numbers are rising, so and any one of you have any problems, let me know early. Okay, don't wait for the last minute. If you are having like issues, problems, or you couldn't do like complete something, let me know earlier. Okay. So any last questions? We still have 8 more minutes. You are welcome, Alex. Yeah, you are welcome, Bana and Amanda. How many Section 4 students participated in this? Most of you guys are, I think, Section 1, probably, the distribution. 18 students. Okay, Sami is from 4. Okay, Antonio. Okay, a lot of Section 4 too. Good. Yes. Okay, that's great. Okay. So yeah, you guys are welcome. So I wish you guys all the best for the final exam. These two chapters basically are very, uh, applied oriented. You are welcome. So have a good final exam, and I hope that all of you will have a good Christmas after that, and stay home. Okay, so I will sign off now. So thank you guys, and
Thank you,
please
Professor.
yeah, complete the survey of Professor Sands, and also finish the teaching evaluation. So finish the teaching evaluations. Okay, it said I watched them
Does that
in.
also count for extra credit, the teaching evaluation? Because I'm pretty sure I opted out of those.
Oh, all of you guys opted.
I mean, I
Okay.
did. I don't know about other people, but
Okay. I will
I did
see if I can
nurse survey
arrange
though.
something.
Yeah, I
Um,
did do nurse survey.
yes. So the teaching evaluation, you guys should do it, like privately. Like, I shouldn't even see what you guys are feeling. Like, if you liked the coverage, like, mention it. If you didn't like, or if you want something like more, put into comments. Okay, but the instructor shouldn't know what you guys are writing about me or anything like that. Okay, just complete it, because that would help, because our department can then decide that, like, if improvements are needed, or like if we do need to do other things. Okay, so thank you guys. um, have a good week, and hopefully a lot of exams are coming up for you guys. Any one of you have like 2 exams on the same day, or I put like.
Not, not really. Like, this exam, and my business law exam are both open, but it's over 2 days, so I can take one day, one the other. They open and close at the same time, though.
Yes, yes. I put like 2 days so that you guys have more flexibility. So do let me know if there's a clash. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Gerard. Thank you, everyone. Have a
All right,
good
have a nice
night.
day, Professor. Thank you.
Bye bye. So let me end this.